What is it? 4, and we're live. All right. So starting sitting, sorry for bad news. We will lie down right away, pretty quickly anyway, but I would like to start sitting. And for that, many people need to get a little creative. I do, I know. Some days I can sit on my heels. And if you see this and think, well, yeah, I can do that, then I adjure you to sit on your heels so you can keep sitting on your heels. So if you can sit on your heels, sit on your heels so you can keep sitting on your heels. I love saying that. Or any of the other kind of sitting positions that work for you, including ones that are not so stressful to the knees, like sitting up on some height. Sometimes people use blocks. And you've heard me do this spiel before. But the question isn't, oh, can you do this rarefied yogic looking seat, or can you find a way for your pelvis to balance, Corky, beautiful, absolutely vertically. So if you take hold of the top of your so-called pelvic bowl, which I have to say, I'm always a little, hey, Sherry, welcome, come on in. And let's see, maybe Jessica, do you mind scooching over just a little bit, and then Sherry can pop in there? Thank you, Jessica, sorry to trouble you there. No worries, Sherry. Welcome. Come on in. Problem with saying it's a pelvic bowl is that it's actually a bowl with a bite taken out of it. So if you think of a salad bowl, and then you think of like a bear or somebody taking a bite out of the front of the bowl, that's really what your pelvis is. It's part of a bowl that's gotten a bite taken out of right in front. But nevertheless, forget about the bite and imagine that your pelvis was actually like a real bowl. And see if you can roll around the base of your bowl. If your seat allows you to posteriorly tilt, anteriorly tilt, so posteriorly would be this, the tucking action, anterior would be this, the sticking your buttocks backwards action, and the sidewards action. So can you make a round movement of your bowl and then go the other way? If the seat you've taken allows for pretty much, roughly speaking, almost an even and equal feeling of mobility and support in all 360 degrees, lovely, you're there. But oftentimes during some seated work, you might think, oh, I need to change it. So no problem, switch it up anytime during the process of this shoulder and upper body work that we're planning to do here. Lastly, my favorite image is, imagine a chicken. You know, chickens have their posteriors, they're like chicken butts, are like fluffy, and they go up like that, right? So fluff your chicken butt upwards and backwards. In Iyengar, we talk about pulling the buttock flesh up and away from the buttock bones, but that for some of us helps you bring your lumbar spine into its natural curve. So there's almost a feeling for people who are tuckers. There's usually a group of people who tend to scoop and tuck all the time, people who tend to jut and arch all the time, and a rare person who might be in the middle. So if you're a tucker, which is pretty common, especially with all the sitting we do, this fluffing your chicken butt is a good idea. Adding fluffing your chicken butt. Yeah, Shelley's got a list of weird images. Strange. Now we'll start with the shoulders. And for this, the arms and hands first might just be flowing down like lava out of your shoulders, right? Just a feeling of release and drape. And hello, Beth, welcome. Shoulder rolls, and let them be gooey, and let your upper body respond to the shoulder movement, or add the upper body tilting to help bring the shoulders into movement. You can opt for stillness and then do backstroke shoulder rolls, meaning one shoulder roll at a time, and allow your ribs to move a lot. So it becomes a twist as well as a shoulder lift and lower. Gently turn your chin from side to side and make the movements at your speed, your favorite speed, before you slow them down and go the other way. So this is the one where you bring your shoulder back and up and forward and down, like a crawl stroke. Yeah. And once more, a little coda into the backstroke version. We'll end with that one. That one is usually a little bit more balancing for all the forward folding we do. And then slow motion, bring your palms up as if you're saying, no, 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 on the left, and no on the right. My daughter goes like that. Mm, mm. no, right? No. And then pull the elbows in and down, and then you push through your left hand. I'll mirror you here, which is a little bit silly. I'll stop mirroring in a moment. Push out and look left. Draw the shoulder blade down and try to stretch through the fingers. If you have one leg extended, look, my foot is flexing. I can't even help it. Push out through the left, and then bend that left elbow and push out through the right. Collarbone broad, shoulder blade down. Breathing, let the chin soften a little to the armpit and see if your fingers can straighten even a little bit more. Anybody feel this in the elbow area, even up into the whole arm? Take a deep breath and push left again. Gently but firmly drawing your shoulder blades away from your ears. Reach, reach, reach. Your arm just got 2 inches longer. Big breath in, and last time, push right. Pull elbow of the left arm in and down. Collarbone is broad. And then send both arms out wide, sort of teddy bear style, collarbone broad. You can bend your elbows. You can lower your arms as much as you need to so the shoulder joint is easy. And then slowly begin to flap your wings. So what that means is that you pull your shoulder blades together as your arms go behind you, and then you pull your spine backwards in space as your shoulder blades go apart. So you're like a big giant bird flying straight up into the ceiling. Exaggerating the anterior posterior movement of your spine. It becomes upper body movement here. You can use your abdominals to pull your belly button back as you bring your wings forward, and then keep the abdominals gently pulling in towards your spine as you pull your elbows back, maybe even straightening through the arms. Maybe 2 more of these. Yes, that's it. And then stretch out your arms as wide as you can. Turn your palms face up and draw your shoulder blades down your back. Now this is a flamenco. Both arms flamenco up, which means you pull your shoulder blades down your back, you rotate your pinkies towards each other, and as the arms rise, you let the chin soften. If you can lift your shoulder blades up to your ears comfortably, let your arms reach all the way up. But if it feels better to keep your shoulder blades down, keep your elbows soft and lower your elbows to a bent position. One more deep breath wherever you are, and then sweep your arms wide and all the way down. And we'll start by leaning to your right. I'll stop the mirroring thing because I'm not sure it actually makes sense in where we are in space here. So as I lean right, my left palm faces the wall behind me. I place my weight on my right hand or arm, maybe even on my bolster or block if I need to take the pressure off of my palm. And as you slowly rotate your chin either to your left armpit, your left bicep, or even up to your fingers, can you pull your ribs up and over to the right, and then pause as you look down to the right, relaxing your neck, and gently drag your ribs to the left, bowing your left side body a little bit more. Deep, long breath. And very gently allow your left arm now to fall forward and gently down. And this is a super relaxed, light feeling, like Rice Krispies, light. And then you lean to the left. I haven't had a Rice Krispie in I don't even know how many years. Take your right palm to face you as you bring your elbow forward to face forward. The palm faces behind you. As you lean, you might look down, or if you wish, you again look up at bicep, inner elbow, or fingertips. Most of the time, I'll look down as I bump my ribs to the right, bumping and curving up, sinking the right buttock any amount, and then lowering that right arm and back to the center, light as air. One more time to the right at your own pace. Let the breath guide you. Come on back to the center. Flamenco the arms up, chin either down or up, shoulders either soft or pulling up around your ears. And slowly sweep the arms all the way down, like you're sweeping your fingers inside of a snow globe, all the way down. And then gently come on out. Excellent. All right, so from here, now we get to lie down. Woo, hallelujah. From here, lying on your back, You gently pull the knees into the chest and add the degree of height under the back of your head that you need to feel comfortable. Now, let's make sure that, oops, that's it. Here you go. Oh, you have blankets. Good. Excellent. Anybody need a blanket? Okay, great. If you find it actually feels better for your neck to be flat on the sticky mat, by all means, please do feel free. And what I'd like to do initially is simply allow you to find your ground here on your back. For some, having the knees gently hugged into the chest feels really relaxing. For others, it may feel more relaxing for your feet to be flat. Take your time to try both options, holding your legs if you do have your knees lifted wherever you need to hold them. For some, feet flat is really nice, as I said, and for others, knees lifted. Now, check a moment to see if you can elongate through the back of your head and neck and create a neutral placement for your shoulders, your head, and your neck. So your jaw, your chin is neither lifted nor jamming into your chest. If you lean a little to the right, can you tuck your left shoulder blade underneath you and then lean a little left and tuck your right shoulder blade under? Feeling now a little engagement in those muscles between your shoulder blades, gently lift your pelvis and fully extend your back. It's like you're taking a piece of sticky tape and you're trying to roll it down smoothly with no wrinkles, like that packing tape. It's so frustrating when you get a wrinkle in your packing tape. It's awful. So here we're smoothing out your back like packing tape with no wrinkles at all the way from the base of the pelvis, almost even to the tailbone tip, but not really for most of us. It's a little bit more of that shelf of sacrum above your tailbone that's flat, then press to the back of your pelvic bowl down. So you feel really, if you try to put your hand underneath your own spine, under anywhere under your back, between your head and your tailbone, you can't fit your hand in there. So take a moment to try it, to pressure test your posterior tilt. And then, unless it bothers you at all, hug your left knee into your chest and slowly extend your right heel. Now, for some, your right knee will stay bent because by keeping your knee bent, you can dig your right heel into the mat and maintain a greater degree of curvature of your low back flat. So, breathing into it, keeping your knee bent as long as you need to, maybe even for the duration. Option to stretch that right leg long as you hug your left knee into your chest. Deep breath into the belly. Lower your left foot. With the left foot planted, hug the right thigh in. Now, once again, kick your heel into the mat, digging a trough in your sticky mat. Choose whether you straighten your left knee fully, or maybe you say, no, not going to do that because it feels better on my back to keep the left knee bent. Squeeze your left buttock, regardless of where it is, Big breath, reach through the leg if you're reaching. Big belly inhale, and exhale, out you come. Now, what we need is our block, and we'll have it right nearby. We'll pull both knees into your chest and hold the backs of your thighs. Flex both of your feet. And as you lightly push your legs, not aggressively, lightly, like maybe 10% of the effort you could exert, that's pretty light. Spread your toes, look at your feet, legs, and knees, and see if everything could be absolutely parallel. And then slowly start to push your hands just a little bit away from your body using your legs. Then pull your legs back in using your arms. Create resistance in your legs when your arms are pulling, and create resistance in your arms when your legs are pushing. Can anybody feel that in both directions? All the while maintain absolute seal between your back and the floor, right? It's that packing tape connection of your low back. Indeed, as much of your back as you can make contact with the floor with, you do. Couple more of these, the elbows wide. Try not to do this by clenching your teeth and gritting your teeth and tensing your brow and tightening up your eyeballs. Take a break when you need to, means just relax right where you are. And then can you go back to it when you're ready, not when somebody else is ready or you think you're supposed to. It's more about how it feels. Pushing and pulling. How flat can your back be? If it's too easy for you, push your knees further away. keep your knees further afield and move your legs more front to back, in and out, while maintaining absolutely that plastering of your low back flat on the mat. Turn your chin just a little bit from shoulder to shoulder. Yes, Aliza, good. Flexing those feet. That's it, Kathleen. That's it, Corky. Good. Spreading those toes. Yes. Nice, Sarah. That's it. Yep. Pushing and pulling, or just pushing if you need to. Sometimes the hands don't feel so comfortable, so you can just push on your thighs. That's it, Julia. Not overworking today, right? Take care of yourself. That's it, Beth. Beautiful. And then when you think you've really had enough, do one more and then stop. That's kind of a joke, but sort of not a joke, which means that as you rock side to side, if you can create fatigue prior to creating overwork, that's what we're going for. A little bit of fatigue, but not the kind where you think, oh gosh, I'm done. I got to leave. I'm going to go permanently to the bathroom, and that's just going to be the end of the class for me. All right. Now, what we'll do is hold the knees again where they were, but this time we're going to do a push-pull, which means if your wrists are talking to you today, you wrap your right forearm or wrist behind your right thigh, and then you put your left elbow on your left thigh. So for those of us for whom the hands and wrists are not comfortable with push-pull, you can do this by pulling your knees in closer and using your forearms and your wrists. If you're okay with palms, holding back of thigh, take your right palm to the back of your right thigh and put your left palm on the top of your left. Flex your feet. Now, what's really nice about this is you don't need to move your knees at all. In fact, we don't really want you to move your knees at all as you press your back flat. Push left and pull right, but keep your eyes peeled on your legs to be sure that everything is still absolutely parallel. You haven't allowed either leg to move. Now switch the arm position. So your hand now, left hand pulls back of left thigh, right hand pushes top of right thigh. Notice how tempting it is to shrug your shoulders. And also notice how tempting it is to leave the room. Right? To feel like, oh, I'm going to think about my grocery list here. Feel the feeling of the engagement, intensify it, and then switch it up. So every time you start to feel like you need a break, you switch legs, and that means you stay with the movement, but it's not so super tiring. Exactly, Corky, good. And make sure the knees stay absolutely parallel, even though you're pushing and pulling. Very good, that's the way. That's it, Anne-Marie, push, pull. In principle, yes. Yep, yes. Yep, in principle, the head, neck, and shoulders are supported and resting, and all the work is from your bristling pectorals downward, right? So, right, it's the Incredible Hulk, but not your neck. Like the Incredible Hulk, pretend that the neck of the Incredible Hulk is relaxed and the face serene. Yes, couple more pushes and pulls. This is super boring by design. It's supposed to make you bored. Yes. Very good. All right. And then when you think, okay, enough already, Kim, beautiful, then you take your block in hand and wedge it between your inner knees so high up towards the kneecaps that if you put it any higher, you wouldn't have a block between your knees. The block is from right to left on its widest axis. So if you peek at your block, you're looking at the wide, narrow, it's the middle edge of your block. So nice and wide, 8 inches across. Slowly lower your feet and pause in your preparation for bridge pose. Squeeze your block right where it is and flatten your low back. Squeeze your buttocks. Try to squeeze your inner thighs together, though with the block here, most likely they're not very close. Flatten out your back. And now super small, any amount of hip lift here. Curl your tailbone up and down. Ironing your back into the mat as you go up and ironing it back in as you go down. Squeezing the buttock muscles, lead with your pubic bone on the lift. Release and relax and let it just happen on the way down. 3 more of these. Keep the squeeze of the block as tightly as you can. Of course, not into strain or pain, but into like, whoa, I'm working hard. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And after you've done, say, 3 or 4, bring your knees into your chest. If the block is okay where it is, great, keep it. If you are needing to switch up the angle of the block, please feel free. You can turn it so it's on its 4-inch axis or at 5 or whatever the different dimensions are, but bring your knees into your chest. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and flex your feet. Feet are at about knee height now. a little higher. And now any amount, see if you can bring your inner edges of your feet together and externally rotate, internally rotate. So what I'm doing is creating like a lobster claw pincer maneuver, but squeezing my block. My back is flat. I can even hold on to my legs to keep my back well supported. But my rotation of my thigh bones means that my lower legs are rotating internally and externally. That's it. Very exactly. Now, maybe the inner edges of your feet come together, but don't force them. If they don't, that's okay. Yes, Corky, exactly. Very good. Squeeze, squeeze. Yes. Rotating internally and externally. That's it. Kathleen, you got it. Yes, very good. That's it, exactly. Even a little more flexion. Beautiful. There you, yes. And let's give you this orientation, Jessica, just so you can play around with the middle of the knee being there. Yeah, it feels you have a little more space there. Very good. Beautiful. That's it, Milton. Yep. That's it. Exactly, Eliza. Good. Yes. Nice, Sarah. Excellent. All right. Yeah, Michael. Good. All right. Very good, everybody. Tweeze pincers, right? So you're using this movement. It's as if your feet are the pincers on one of those giant ice things. You get the right. Remember how you saw the ice chunks out of Fresh Pond, and then you put them in the wagon and take them to Boston. These are your ice tongs. Dong, dong, dong. Right. Beautiful. All right. Now to come. Now gently roll to the side and come on up, and we get to have a little commercial break, which in Iyengar yoga means you fiddle around with props. So what we have is here a nascent loop. If you're lucky enough to have a nascent loop, you just enlarge it. If you don't have a loop at all, you get to have the fun of creating a loop. And I have to say, I really suck at telling you how to do that, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Okay. So if you know how to make a loop, ignore me. If you're not sure, if you have one of these black buckles with a hugger mugger on it, when the loop will be where it goes around your thighs and your legs are about hips distance apart. The teeth of your buckle face the floor. And if the teeth of your buckle pointing to one side face the floor, you look down at the top of the buckle, there are usually 2 slots. You come up with this in through the slot closest to the long tail, up towards the ceiling, and down out of the slot closest to the teeth. So that is my current effort at explaining loop making. Was that at all helpful? Once you have your loop, you put it around your thighs above your knees and cinch it up enough so that when you push your legs right to left, you can only get about hips distance apart. All right, I'm going to waddle over here and turn the heat down because it's getting a bit Baron Baptiste-ish in here. Et voila. Okay, so we get to lie back down again. That's the good news. Sorry for bad news. However, is this, that we're doing a gentle bridge lift with the strap pressing outward on the part of either of your knees, of both of your knees. So your feet are flat, your knees are bent, your arms reach down for the outer edges of your sticky mat, and you pause. And you take a big breath into your back body, and you let it go. And another big breath in, fill up your lungs all the way to the very lowest lobes. And exhale. Now this time, squeeze your buttocks, flatten your back, and lift your pelvic floor. By that, I mean retract and pull up towards your head, your urogenital sphincter, your anal sphincter. And I was informed by various men to call it lift your junk. Okay, up towards your head. If you're a woman, there is this idea that you take a marble into your anal sphincter, a blueberry into your vaginal canal doing a Kegel, and a raisin into your urethra. Okay, that's enough specificity, but the idea is all the soft tissues at the bottom of your pelvis hug in towards the middle of your perineum and draw up towards the center of your skull. As you do that, squeeze your buttocks and push your strap as you slowly lift and lower your hips any amount. For some, this degree of lifting, the degree of lifting you choose may be slight. For others, it may be an exploration of height. So if you do explore height, move the blanket out from under your head, most likely you're really going into the nether reaches, because that way you're not going to be over flexing your neck. So 3 or 4 slow exploratory bridge lifts with this lateral or sideways pressure through your thighs. Your version means, if it means doing 1 or 2 and resting, please do honor your need to take it at your own pace. Once you've done 4 or 5, bring the knees into your chest and rock side to side. Flex your feet. Reach for that blanket once more if you had it, but now lost it and crave it. Hold the backs of your thighs and flatten your back. Very analogous to where we were with the block squeeze, we'll do the pincers, but now we have the lateral pressure, the sideways pressure. So same idea, remember the ice tongs at Fresh Pond. Here we are with the ice tongs, but now you're pushing out instead of squeezing in. Can you still support your legs with your hands if you need to, or remove that support if you feel it's easy? The soles of the feet never touch, but the inner edges of your feet might clack together. So your feet are fully flexed, but you're neither everting nor neither pronating or supinating your feet. Your feet are as if they're completely fixed, like it's a prosthetic foot, right? It doesn't change its orientation with regard to the shin. Yes, exactly, Kathleen. Yes, very good. Nice, Milton. Excellent. That's a nice option. Exactly. Elisa, good. Yeah, exactly. Very good. Jessica, nice. Michael, good. Yep, there you go. How's your back, Shelley? Yep, good, which is exactly what you need to do. Beautiful, Kim. Yes. One more. Take a break when you need to. All right. Now, take a break, rock side to side, kick your ankles. Here's my absolute favorite thing. You might think this is nuts, and you wouldn't be alone. But the idea is this, that your arms go wide. You take the version of this leg press that works for you. For example, your knees might be like mine are here, which is that the angle at my hip joint is what, 75 or something like that instead of 90. And that makes it much smoother for my back, much flatter and more sustainable. For some, your legs will go more to 90 and you'll do more work to keep your lumbar spine flat. And then as you twist your lower body any amount from side to side, can you employ your upper body to keep the shoulder girdle grounding as much as is comfortable for your shoulders? As you turn your chin the opposite direction to your legs, let the rotation of your lower body be only to the degree that feels quite manageable and sustainable, but it's a wholesale rotation from your low back, at your low back. So if you notice, your whole pelvis swivels to the right, rolling up and over onto the right hip and buttock, and then your whole pelvis swivels left. So you might find it helpful to push down into the mat strongly with your elbows. See if you can keep your shoulders grounded as well, flattening your back as you go through the center. And then you can add the pincer while you're twisting. So now you really are like a lobster waving your claws around in the ocean underneath everybody else, right? That's the beauty of being a lobster. You actually walk around on the sand, right? And pincer, pincer, pincer to keep everyone away. Excellent. Yes, exactly. It's one of those pat your head and circle your stomach type of things, isn't it? Take your time. When your body says, I'm done, you'd slowly and gently come on back to the center. Very good. Nice work. All right. Now from here, we'll gently roll to the side and come on up. And take your blanket and lengthen it out on your sticky mat in the middle. This is a very nice bright yellow. This reminds me of Meyer lemons, you know? Growing up in California, we had a Meyer lemon bush. I had no idea what a boon that was to have your own Meyer lemon bush. Crazy. And it actually produced Meyer lemons despite our best efforts to kill it. So here's the idea. The strap, if you choose to use it, goes around your feet. So if you're a strap user, you might find the strap reasonably comfortable around the arches of your feet. For many people, though, it means it's nicer if you widen it out a little bit. Sometimes when the strap is too small, it gives you a sort of feeling of congestion, a feeling that there isn't any space for your hip joints. So do play with the width, roughly hips distance is what we want, but it could be wider for anybody who needs that. For my feet, if I put the tops of my feet down on the floor when I'm lying on my stomach, sometimes I'll get a cramp in the arch of the foot, or I'll have pain in these big toe mounds, the sort of little mounds of arthritis there. So I'll put the foot on a blanket. Similarly with the head, if it doesn't feel good for you to put your head on the sticky mat and tuck your chin, feels kind of claustrophobia inducing, make yourself a strudel and place that on the floor so that you can put your nose, I was going to say your nose straight down. So for some, no need for all that. You just stack your palms, your nose points down, and you're good to go. But if you don't like that and your arms need something different, you may try this. The added advantage is that you've got that sort of Bjorn Borg feeling of a sweatband across your forehead. Now, the legs and feet are about hips distance apart. As I pull on my feet from right to left, I pull the strap, I might feel a little action in the upper thigh, even in a little bit in the buttock area. As you pull from right to left, press your low back flat. Squeeze your tailbone down, squeeze your buttock muscles, and see if you're comfortable where your feet are. Anybody need something under their feet? Just raise your hand and I will come and bring you something. Okay. Pushing from right to left, keep your pubic bone pressing down into the mat. And now try to drag your pubic bone up towards your nose. So your pubic bone not only pushes down into the mat, but now it's doing a J all the way up to your chest. So it's not just a tuck, it's actually a full U-turn. Now keep the pubic bone pulling up towards your nose as you kick out through your legs and straighten them as much as you can, not lifting them off the floor, but straightening your knees. Push out into your straps. Then reach your arms back by the sides of the body and reach through your fingertips any amount, floating your head just a tiny bit above your mat with your chin neutral and your eyes softly hanging straight down. Kind of weird. Pubic bone pressing, stretch out through your knees and begin to float your feet just a tiny bit, even a tiny micro float. Now your upper body barely needs to lift, Sarah, and the pubic bone stays pressing down. Length is more important than loft. Pubic bone pressing. Can you reach your fingertips even further towards your ankles? Can you pull your pubic bone even closer up into your chest? Can you straighten your knees even more? And then rest down and come back up. And then rest down and come back up. So these are little slow wafting shalabasanas where you lower down and then you slowly add all the actions back in again. And then you release them in a wave and you add them all back in again. So you're like a sea creature, right? Where it goes and it moves along like an octopus or something is rippling through. The muscle action comes and then it softens and goes. All the muscle actions come and then go. So every cell of your body is involved in the activation as well as the release. Every cell, no part of the body is free from this. 2 more, take your time. Beautiful, Elisa. Yes, gorgeous. That's it, Jessica. Gorgeous. That's it, Sherry. And when your body says, okay, enough already, take your time to bend those knees and gently windshield wiper all the way left, all the way right. Now, for some in windshield wiper, it's nice to have the arms extended. For others, you'll have your arms by your body. And for others, stacking the palms under your forehead. All are good options. Now, can you press your pubic bone down even as you windshield wiper? Feel the fronts of your thighs extending from the hip point down to the knee. So there's a little bit more of a focus on length in the front of the upper thigh here. We'll set ourselves back up for Shalabhasana, no strap this time. I probably should have mentioned that you could kick it away before now, but feel free to kick it away now. And what I'd like to do is move into a single leg lift in Shalabhasana, which we can augment with upper body stuff as and if you wish. Legs and feet are hips distance, arms back down to the sides of the body once more. And then lift your pelvic floor, squeeze your buttock muscles, press your pubic bone down and pull it up towards the front of your, all the way up your mat towards your nose, and then lift your pelvic floor. Then kick through your left leg and stretch it long to lift it. Then slowly float your chest and head any amount. Left leg reaching, upper body barely lifting. Now, if you wish, you can slowly slink your right arm along next to your ear and reach through your right fingertips. Optional, adding on of the right arm. Pushing down with your right leg, lifting left leg and right arm. Slowly come on down, take a break. Now it's the right leg that lengthens and lifts. You might stay right here. It's a lot of work already. Use the push of your left leg, top of foot, thigh, pubic bone to help you lift your right leg. Option to float your head and your chest. Option to extend your left arm forward with the palm facing the midline. Opposite arm and leg. Down you come. One more time each side. Either left leg, right arm lift, or just left leg. And switching last time, take your time. Opposite arm and leg. Nice, Corky, beautiful. Straight knee, that's gorgeous. Yes, nice, Kathleen. That's it. Beautiful, Michael. Yes, Shelley, good. And out you come. Beautiful, Beth. Now, for some, bending the knees, again, gently rolling to the side body and sitting yourself up is a nice way to come on up. For others, it's kind of fun just to push up through a child's pose and we'll meet in. Here's one simple, plain vanilla child's pose, but one of my local favorites is this. I put my tops of my feet over a blanket roll so I don't get cramping in my arches. I put 2 blocks, one on top of each thigh, and then I hold those blocks between ribs and thighs and drape my upper body down with some added support under my head, for example. So this is a rather strange frog-like variation of child's pose. For some, it feels great. For others, you might prefer a blanket strudel over the thighs. So take your time to modify your child's pose if and in the way that works for you. And breathe into your back body. How much can the breath in expand your skin of your back, your diaphragm backwards and outwards, and the breath out be a relaxation? And the breath in is an expanding, lengthening, puffing feeling. The breath out, Let's do 2 more in your own chosen manner. Very good. And slowly come on out. All right, now this is my new favorite thing. Here's what we do. We take a bolster and put it at the foot of your mat. Still have the blanket there. Yay, very cozy. The idea is this. You'll put your right leg. Beth, do you need a bolster? I think we have it. Yeah, 2 blankets will be perfect. Here you go. Here's a second strudel, and that will work just fine because, as you know, the bolsters and the 2 blankets are equivalent here, given the degree of squish we've got going on in our bolsters. You'll be perfect. That's great. We put our right knee and right ankle onto the bolster. The angle at your knee could be 90 degrees or could be less. I'll show it this angle and then I'll show it at a second angle as well. The elbow of your left arm or your hand goes on the sticky mat. For me, it's clearly the elbow because I find that my left wrist is not happy with all that pressure, but totally fine. If you're a hand person, you'll be here. Finally, so we have a bolster, a block, and an elbow or a hand. Those are our touch points to the mat. I'm lengthwise on my mat and I'm gazing out to the side of my mat. My right inner knee is on the bolster, my right hand is on the block, and I go and down. So it's a simple hip lift here, which then becomes the bottom leg comes with you. So we'll start just with the hip lift. Let's begin with just the hip lift. Yeah, and then I'll explain. So bring your right knee and your right ankle onto your bolster or 2 blankets. And Jessica, feel free to take a third blanket if you need a little extra height, but I think you're good. Yeah. So your inner right knee and your inner right ankle are on either a bolster or 2 blankets. Your left forearm or elbow or hand is on the sticky mat, so that you're in almost a side plank Vashisthasana situation. Yeah. So forearm down. There we go. Now put your right, there you go. That's it, Michael. Put your right hand on a block in front of your belly button. Nice. Now lengthen your head towards the crown of your, or towards the top of your mat, and look down and see if your nose is roughly over your left hand or elbow. Yeah, so look down into the left and check that your spine is elongating to the head of your mat. Very good. So your left hand would be on your mat, Corky, in the middle, facing the counter next to you. Probably elbow would be better for you, Corky, I'm thinking right now, unless that bugs you. Okay, now squeeze your buttocks and lift your hips up so your left hip leaves the mat. And lower back down. Anybody feel that they can lift their hips so now their left hip is not on the mat anymore? And then come back down. The spine is long, the head is reaching to the head of your mat, and you're getting taller. And then you lower back down. For some, this is going to feel easy. For some, this is a weird movement. And back down. No pain, no strain. You guys doing okay? All right. Now lift your hips up and hold. And see, now that your left leg, can you see that your left knee and shin are still on the floor? Can you lift your leg up? And put it back down. Lift your left leg up. There you go, Kim, you got it. And back down and slowly rest. Very good, Shelley. Now lift just your hips, and then add your leg, and then put your leg back down and put your hips back down. Can we do that 2 more times? You'll feel action in your left shoulder. You want it to feel like a lot of work, but not stressful, sharp joint pain. Yeah. So we lift the hips, squeeze the buttocks, then lift your left leg up. And back down. That's it, Anne-Marie. Very good. Yes. That's it. There you go, Beth. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Exactly. That's it. So right leg lifts you. There you go, Milton. Bend that knee, put it on the bolster. Your bolster needs to be parallel to your shin. Yeah. All right. So this bolster, too much on the knee? Yeah. So then we're done. No problem. All right. I have a variation for you to do instead, Milton. Let's switch sides. Bolster goes to the other side of your mat. So Milton, lovely for you, I'm sure you're excited. In lieu of this, and this is true for anybody for whom this whole thing feels a bit fraught, we've got either the block between the thigh or the block between the ankles, and we're doing our usual Vashisthasana, okay? So this is Vashisthasana without putting any weight on your arms or hands. All right, so those of us doing this complicated situation here, this is like origami for the body. Left shin parallels your bolster or your 2 blankets. Perfect. Right leg sticks out in front of you towards the side of your mat and bends. Block is in front of your chest, and your right forearm is down on the sticky mat. So you're kind of lounging, like if you were in Rome, you'd be eating grapes right here, right? You'd be on the chaise longue eating grapes, right? Now, the idea is to put your left palm, squash it into the block, and see if you can lift your right hip off of the mat. Left palm on your block in front of your chest. Yes, and you push down onto it to lift your hips up. So my left hand is basically just a lever to help me push up onto my right elbow. That's it, Shelley. And lower back down. Very good. Now, if you want, lift your hips up, hold, and try lifting your right leg up at the same time. So your hip is up, but also your whole shin. Knee. Exactly. Very good, Adrian. And down you come. Then hip only. Add the leg. Leg back down. Hip down. Hip only. At your own pace. Add your leg. Leg down. Hip down. Lifting the hip, you can engage the outer abdominal musculature. Then you lift your right leg, inner groin, inner thigh. Down you go. Excellent. Yes, that's it, Ann. Yep. That's it, Beth. Yep. All right. And down you come. There we go. Torture session over. Perfect. All righty. Now, where I'd like to go is to find our way to Prasarita Padottanasana with your 2 blocks tall. We'll be doing a version of Downward Dog in Prasarita Padottanasana, one which asks you to put no weight on your hands at all. And as I often say, that this is a bit wobbly, these two blocks tall, stacked on top of each other. That's by design. And it's also helpful to have the extra height. So finding your way slowly into a flat back position where 90% plus of your weight is in your legs and your feet heel nice and wide. Everyone on this side of the room towards Mass Ave who's facing the clock wall can turn into the computer here. And everyone on this side can face in this way, unless you're mad at me, in which case you turn around and face the other way. Never mind about that. So yeah, here we go. Now micro bend your knees and shift your buttocks back. Now take one hand or your attention or both to your belly and see if you can hug the navel in and up and imagine closing the baggage compartment. The low ribs come in, belly comes in and up. And as you jut your buttocks back in space, take one hand onto your low back and then gently scoop your tailbone down a little more to flatten up that lumbar spine. Keep that little bit of flatness, just a little bit of a cat kind of curl in your low back, but lengthen your chest forward. Chin is neutral. If it's easy for you to straighten your knees, just straighten them without locking them best you can. And then fold your chest forward and downward. For some, it's still not a big hamstring stretch, so you might need to fold deeper. For others, you're feeling it in the hamstrings. Great. Take a moment to peek at your feet. Can you lift and spread your pinky toe sides of your feet so that the metatarsals are broad and inner heel and outer heel are pressing as evenly into the mat as can be? Option, if you wish to go deeper, to take your blocks and without shifting your weight into your hands, hardly at all, almost no weight in the hands slide so easily forward at the height of the blocks that is nicest for your shoulder. Easy, soft shoulders, elbows a little bit bent, elbows hammock down to the floor. As you elongate through the front body, pleat your belly button in, zip your low ribs down and in and up. So the spine is long. You're like a counter reaching way out in space here. Long spine. You're like the ICA over the ocean and over the harbor, right? It's cantilevered out into free space. Buttocks long and lifted, back of spine long and flat, not curving. Beautiful. Yeah, keeping your weight nice in your heels. Oh, come back just a teeny bit for me, Corky, so we can have a little more weight in your heels. Nice. Exactly. Beautiful, Jessica. Yeah. And see about pulling those kneecaps up and get even longer through the spine. If you're craving a forward drape, please feel free to go into the drape. For some, it's preferable to stay in an Adho Mukha Svanasana. A little bit to your right for me, just a little bit with your right arm, Aliza. Yeah, beautiful. Breathe. Yes, gorgeous. Long spine. Lift and spread your toes. It can be an interesting challenge here to try to lift your middle three toes. Maybe you turn your head from side to side. Beautiful. Yeah. Maybe you lengthen through the crown of the head. Maybe you nod your head yes. Maybe you turn your chin no. That's it. Good. Nice lengthening through that side. Beautiful, Shelley. A little further back with your weight, even a little further. You can bring your blocks with you. That's it. And let your knees be soft, but bring your sternum forward for me. Yeah, better. Good, good. Nice. Beautiful, Kim. Breathing, lengthen. Nice, Linda. Nice work. Yeah, beautiful. Unlocking those knees, Adrian. Just a teeny bit more. Beautiful. This is good. That's it. A little bit to the right with your right hand, Robin. Feels weird, probably like I'm asking you to rotate to the right. You got it. Nice and long spine. Very good, Julia. Beautiful. Slowly bringing your blocks back in close. Toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Beautiful. Slight tuck of your chin. Gorgeous. And out you come. All right. Take your two blocks in hand. Move all the stuff off your mat if there is anything there. And come to the middle of your mat facing the long edge. If you discover that the blocks are uncomfortable in any way, drop them. You don't need them. But if you're okay with them, you can play around a little bit. I tend to hold the blocks as if it were a book that I'm pulling out of a shelf. So I hold on to the long axis of the block, but you get to choose however you like it. Now, bringing your feet together, tuck your chin and look down the length of your body and see if your legs, excuse me, I shouldn't have said bring your feet together, bring your legs together and see where your feet are comfortable. And then take a moment to spread your toes. Now, lift and spread all 10 toes and unlock your knees. Squeeze your buttocks, stand up tall and put just your big toes down. Notice what your fingers are doing. Lift your other 8 toes up. You can even raise your eyebrows. That helps you. And then put just your baby toe down to add to just the big toe. Middle 3 toes are lifting. Nice. Big toe mound is also pressing, not just the toe, but also the base of the toe. Then lift all 10 toes, spread them out, and bring them all the way onto the sticky mat. And slightly bend your knees if they aren't already slightly bent. And then squeeze your inner thighs together. Now take your right arm out to the right and gently turn your chin right to look, opening the chest and drawing the shoulder blade of the right side down the back. Then slowly push your left block out to the left, looking left. Bending your elbows as much as you need to, working towards straight over time. Keep both shoulder blades gently drawing downwards and bring your chin back to neutral. Push out through your blocks, but simultaneously hug your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Always have time to lower your blocks when you need to. Now slowly step your feet wide and toe heel your feet even wider. Turn your left toes in slightly and turn your right toes out 90 degrees and check to see if you can arrange your right heel roughly centered in the instep of your left foot or near or lined up with your left heel, excuse me. Both of those alignments are fine. Now, turn your belly button a little bit to the right, but push your left arm open to the left. So you're rotating your torso right, but turn your chin, your chest, and your shoulder left as you reach out through your left arm. Keep your hips rotating right as you turn your chin right. And now press into your right heel as you sink straight down through the right heel. You can always scoot your right foot a little further out. If you need a little more space, look down and check, is your knee right over your ankle? Then look down towards your left armpit. Is your left knee straight? Look left at your left block. Nice, Anne-Marie. Look right at your block. If you're near the wall and you can push your block into the wall, that's really fun. I don't get out much. And then reach your block straight up to the ceiling. Think a little deeper. Gaze down your chin. Turn your belly button to the right, but open your chest to parallel the long edge of your mat. That's it. So your hips are turning right, but your upper body is not. One more time, sweep your blocks wide. Yes, beautiful, Adrian, that's it. Yes, exactly, Robin, look left. Yes, Anne-Marie, gorgeous, sink into your right heel. Nice, Kathleen, beautiful, that's it, Sherry, and up you come, very good. Slowly, if your feet are okay wide, keep them wide, turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. If you need a break, you take a break, whenever you need it. Good idea, Shelley, it's a little slidey probably here, yeah? Grab your blocks and hug them into your waist. Now you can even just let go with your hands, especially for me holding onto those blocks for a while, my wrists get sore. So you can hold them with your arms if you like. Before we do anything, we'll lift and spread the toes. Yeah, and notice my hands, I go, what? And I lift my eyebrows too. Okay, now peek at your feet. Check to see if your left toes are turning directly to the short edge of your mat. Now, rotate your tailbone, your pelvis, your ribs to the left, about 45 degrees, not more than that. Then bend your left knee and see, oh boy, it's so easy to keep the knee right over the toes. Then re-straighten that left leg. If you feel like you have more space between your feet that you could expand to, great. But if you feel like you're at the nice, comfortable maximum, then you're in good shape as you bend and straighten your left knee a few more times. Your shoulders and your hips are casually rotated to the left, right? We're just kind of hanging out here in this casual rotation. Now hold in the left knee bend position. Gaze back at your right leg and see if you can straighten out your right leg even a little bit more. Spread your toes. Now, allow the blocks to settle into your hands and reach them down towards your feet. Keep your hips rotating left. Even look down and check to see that your pelvis has rotated about 40 degrees to the left. But now reach your right arm up and open to the right behind you. Turn your chin to the right, open your chest, look right, but keep your belly button to the left. Then bring your left arm up, opening up. Yes, now slowly tuck your chin, look left as your right arm reaches right, look right as your left arm reaches left, sink into your left heel and peek at your left knee. Is it still going right out over your toes? Now, if your arms are comfortable, you can flamenco them up or simply reach them up. Either way, either shoulder blades are down, elbows are bent, or shoulder blades are up, arms can be straight. Reaching tall, turn your hips to the left, but open your chest to the center of your mat. That's to your right. Yes, now open up your arms wide, 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 wide. Send your blocks so far, stage left and right, that someone could easily take them from you and straighten out your left leg. Beautiful. Nice, Kim. Yep. And then turn the left toes in, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Whew. Shake out. Virabhadrasana 2. Okay. Now, step, 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 step. Keep stepping for a moment. Gaze at a fixed focal point and face the long edge of your mat again. So we'll be coming into the same position we were in. So you might be turning to face the long edge of your mat if you weren't already. Now slow down the stepping. Squeezing the inner thighs, bring the legs as close as is comfortable. And then just shift. No longer even lifting a foot, just shifting a little bit right to left. And then finding what feels like middle. Take a deep breath in. Step the feet wide. Take your 2 blocks up in front of your chest, bring your elbows in and hug your blocks towards your chest. And use this as a way for you to take your low ribs and wrap them into your spine. So there's a feeling as if somebody's got you in a hug from behind and they're wrapping your ribs together and sealing them. Yeah. So as you lightly push your blocks together, again, bristle your pectoral, right? So the elbows come in and down. You squeeze your ribs with your own upper arms, but your head is lifting and you can even peek over your blocks because you pull your elbows down and broaden across the collarbone. Then slowly kick your right heel out just a little bit, a comfortable degree, which for some people means practically 0 and for others means a good 20%. So take a moment to turn your right foot in and turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Now, as you squeeze your blocks, turn your blocks to the left. Your blocks mirror your trunk, your rib cage. Bend your left knee. Double check your feet, look for left heel in line with right instep, lift and spread all of your toes and straighten your right knee. Take a moment to drop your brain into your right buttock. Can you pull the sticky mat to the right with your right foot, which is like that of a little sticky tree frog, pulling the leaf to the right. Squeeze your right buttock. Then, keeping your left heel stomped, slowly push your blocks any amount towards the ceiling. Your upper body here is still parallel with your lower body. You're slightly turned to the left. Then keeping that position, bring your left forearm onto your left thigh. Then begin to tilt, maintaining that exact same alignment where your hips and shoulders are still facing left. Now slowly keep your left hip pulling back and down towards your inner right heel. Keep both sides of your spine long. And without changing your lower body at all, reach your right arm way up to the ceiling. Breathe into the length of the spine. Now, for some, it's weirdly pleasant to drop the arms slightly behind you here as you turn your chin and look left, opening up the chest. For others, no thank you. The block might go straight up, but it's not going behind me. Deep breath in and slowly turn your palm, your block to the floor as you reach your right arm any amount over your right ear, as if you could reach it up through the ceiling tiles above you and to your left. And now slowly circle your right block down in front of the body and find your way back to standing. Whew. Turn the left toes in. Turn the right toes out. Take your blocks into your side ribs. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to bring them together in front of your chest once more. Elbows in. Bend your right knee. Virabhadrasana 2. You've been here before. Press into your right heel. Rotate your hips, your blocks, your ribs to the right. 20 degrees. Now, press in with your left foot. And again, remember the tree frog. Look back at your left foot. Can you spread the toes and pull your sticky mat to the left? Can anybody feel their left buttock muscles engaging? Yeah, when you pull that sticky mat, you've got gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus, medius too. Press in with your right heel. Now, gazing down your nose, keep your elbows in tight. Push the blocks up any amount. Your elbows might not straighten all the way, and it's fine if they don't. Breathing. Draw your navel in and up. Yeah, beautiful. That's it, Adrian. Yes, exactly. A little more rotation to the right hand, just a teeny bit. There you go. Beautiful. That's it, Robin. Now lean to the right. Put your right forearm on your right thigh. Yes, Julia, good. Option to send your left arm straight up to the ceiling, but don't change your hip. Don't change your lower body. Nice, Michael. Option to open the left arm backwards, though for some that's anathema. That opening of the left arm, if you do choose to drop your left arm behind you, comes with a tuck of the tailbone, obviating exactly, Adrian, the temptation to overarch your back here. Yeah, Shelley, beautiful. Kim, gorgeous. Yes, Linda, exactly. Nice straight knee. Yes, Beth, gorgeous. That's it, Julia. Then slowly turn your left block downwards as you bring your left arm any amount next to your left ear. It need not come close. Big long reach through that whole left side of your body. Check that your right knee is still going right out over the middle of your right foot. Beautiful, Sherry. That's it. Exactly, Jessica. Slowly bring that left arm all the way down. And out you come. Nice, Eliza. Toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Yeah, question. Good question. In Utthita Parshva Konasana, when you put your forearm on your thigh, are you using that arm, that hand, that limb to push your knee open? Yes. And I'm also using that leg to push my arm in. So I'm both pushing out with my arm and in with my leg. So I'm constantly trying to create in all of the standing poses this resistance where whenever I put a limb against a limb, I'm pushing one against the other, keeping the essential alignment that I'm looking for, which is knee over toes. But my arm, if it would win the argument, takes my knee back. And my leg, if it wins the argument, takes my knee forward. Neither one overdoes the other. And so I end up in a balance where I'm engaging inner and outer buttock. So yeah, thank you for that. Good question. Now, yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Now we're going, I'm so excited. Fan. Not the fan. I mean, the fan's great, but here's the idea. For some, it'll be nice to have the height afforded by the two blocks stacked. Again, the caveat being that it's a delicate balance. And so it isn't a place for you to put a lot of weight on. It's really a place for balance and focus, but not a lot of sort of existential weight. You could certainly use a wall or a chair, but certainly coming to a wall at any point, if you feel like it, you just turn to your wall and you do this with your fingertips on the wall if the blocks are failing you. Okay, so I'll show it with the two tall blocks and then we'll move forward. What I love about this one is it's a balance, it's a strengthening pose, it's about alignment, but it's very gradual. So you can take it at a gentler level, you can augment, you can make it as hard as you want it to be or as easy as you need it to be. So here's the idea. Your right leg is forward, and I'll show it on both sides. Your left foot is back. You press into your right heel, squeeze the buttocks, and lengthen through the spine. That may be it. You might be here, balancing, trying not to put too much weight on your hands. Okay, so simple. Right leg forward, left leg back, high lunge, essentially. Yeah. Most of my weight is really in my right leg, but there's a significant amount in my left leg. If that works for you, you go to the next stage, which is to scoot your blocks forward and bring your weight into your right leg. So now you're just tiptoeing onto the floor. Finally, if you wish, you can kick through the heel, hook the thumb in the hip crease, maybe even balance, maybe without the blocks, maybe with the blocks. For some, lowering the block down, even 2 blocks here is nice. The thumb in the hip crease helps you keep the hips more square. And as you kick through the back heel, you bring the weight into your lower foot. And then finally, palms together, palms behind you, or the one I really dislike, this one. Right? I mean, who likes this? Nobody. Right? You come on down. You do the other side. Here's me, weight on blocks, very lightly, toes down. Here's me, barely any weight in the back leg. Here's me lifting the back leg and eventually hooking the hip crease of the front leg. Balance, balance, balance. So we'll do both sides twice. Take your time as we take your right leg forward and your left leg back. The blocks for many people need to be forward, for others, not so much. The idea is that you're balancing on your right foot, your hips are square to the mat, your left foot is back there behind you, long knee, and maybe you kick through the heel and lift your left leg a little bit, keeping both legs extremely active and your supporting leg slightly bent. Beautiful, Beth. That's it. That's it, Shelley. Exactly. Nice work. How straight can your back leg be, Linda? Good. Beautiful. Yes. Adrian, nice work of the hip crease. And it's the left hip crease that would go back. Kim, you got it. There you go. Nice, Shelley. Yes. Fixed focal point helps with balance. So you gaze at a fixed point and let your eyeballs become continuous with that point. You drill your eyeballs in. Nice drop of the left hip, Michael. Even a little more drop of the left hip. Yeah. Beautiful. That's it. A little less external rotation, Jessica. Nice. You got it. That's it. That's it. Left knee in and down, Sherry. Beautiful, Anne-Marie. That's it. You're doing great with the hip alignment. That's it, Sarah. Left leg towards your midline. Nice. Nice, Milton. Yeah, good square hips. Beautiful. Yeah, feel that glute. Eliza, flex that back foot. Nice work. Yes, and good. That's it, Robin. Julia, good, not overworking. You got it, nice straight back leg, gorgeous. Julia, lovely. So most of that weight is in your leg. That's really good. Nice long spine. Julia, gorgeous. That's it, Beth. Take your time. That's it, Shelley, straightening that back leg even more. Nice, you got it. Wow, excellent. Michael, good. Flex that back foot for me. Nice work. All right. Wow, everybody. Okay, take a break. Whew, nice. All right. Okay, so we have a strap. If you didn't do the other side, do the other side. Okay. No shortage of time. No problem at all. Do the other side if you didn't do the other side. And we'll meet. If you've done both sides and you're ready to take a break, come on up to stand. And we'll be putting your strap loop around your right foot. Very good. All right. Now, what I love, that's it, Julia, gorgeous. That's right. Yep, flex that back foot even more and push through that right knee. Nice, drop the right hip even more, Julia. Yeah, that's the direction. Nice long spine. Very good. All right, here's the idea. Strap is around my right foot and over my right shoulder. Now, oh gosh, back to warrior two. Really? So here's the idea. We come into warrior two and we've got a hold of the strap. We can even wrap the strap around the fleshy part of your hand. I tend to reach down and hold it this way. And you can even wrap it around the hand so many times that you don't actually have to grip with the fingers much, if at all. You can also wrap it around your wrist and do that. Yeah, so for those of us for whom the hand is uncomfortable, it's okay to wrap it around the wrist too. Here's the idea. As I come into my warrior two, I bring my left forearm onto my thigh and slowly I'll look down to the left. Now here's the trick. Extend your left arm so your left forearm and wrist are pushing your inner left knee to the baby toe. And the baby toe, and the inner left knee is pushing the arm to the big toe. So just like Anne-Marie said. Now, we'll slowly bring your weight into your left leg, and that might be it. That's already a lot of work to take your right toes onto the mat and have it be just your left foot, bending your knee, lengthen through your spine, and pull on your strap to lift your chest. Now, take a break and watch if you need to, but otherwise you can come up into your Ardha Chandrasana, pulling your strap to the right. Left arm lengthens all the way forward. Maybe you grab the wall. Yeah, so facing the wall can be helpful here. It's warrior two in all the ways except that you're lifting back your other leg. Yes, that's it. That's it, Kim. So making sure the knee goes over the toes. Straightening that leg even more, Michael. Push into the strap, pull the strap against your foot. Nice. Beautiful, Sherry. Exactly. Take your time. Left leg down, right leg lift, any amount. You don't need to lift it a ton. Anne-Marie, beautiful. That's it, Corky. Gorgeous. There you go, Kathleen. Lovely. Yes. Adrian, nice. Not locking that bottom knee. Yes, Robin. Good. That's it, Julia. Exactly. Pulling against the strap, pushing against the strap. You got it. There you go, Shelly. Excellent. You got it. That's it. Linda, keeping your left knee over your toes. And then we'll switch sides. Take your time. I'll talk you through it. Now I have this. Yeah, good question. So the question is here, I'll show real quick demo. I'm in on my warrior two and my left leg, right leg, excuse me, is bent, Kim. And so what I'll do is I'll pull my foot in a little bit, and here I am, my right leg is bent, my left toes are on the mat, and it's as if I'm in between two panes of glass, right? We say, except my hips are slightly turned to the right. My right knee is over my toes. I keep my right knee bent, to your question. Keep the right knee bent, keep the right knee bent, keep the right knee bent, keep the right knee bent. Ardha Chandrasana. If I want to straighten the right knee, I can, but it's actually kind of nice to keep it fluid instead of, right? We don't want to lock it. Yeah, so take your time. Beautiful, Elise. Let's do second side with your strap around your left foot, grabbing for the wall with your right hand if you wish. The first action is simply to hang out like a statue here, gazing down your nose imperiously, squeezing your left buttock, keeping your right knee bent. Check that your right knee is right over your toes. Yes, Linda, nice work. Jelly, good. Yes, the gaze continues down the nose. Very good. Julia, that's the alignment, exactly. And as you push out into the strap with your left foot, you pull the strap up, and you might just stay there with your left foot grounded, or you might float your left leg up. But beautiful work through that left leg, Julia. Good. That's it, Robin. Active left leg. Nice. A little bit less turnout, Adrian. Just a little bit in your left leg, less turnout. Nice, you got it. So more about the right leg, external rotation, hip crease pull, Adrian, less about the top leg. There you go. That was actually perfect. Yeah. Nice. Very nice, Kim. Gorgeous. Yes, Shelly. Beautiful, Michael. Nice, beautiful, Milton. Look at that. Strong balance. I'm going to go push you over. Look, you look so strong. That's awesome. And that's a neat. That's neat. You built a lot of strength in yours. Well, we like that knee. All right. We like the other one too. So we're not going to be discriminatory knee wise. All right. Take a break. Come on out. All right. Now taking your strap in a gentle, very gentle overhead elbows bent position with your feet and knees wide. The width you choose might be greater or lesser. For some reason today, I'm wiggling my feet. I feel like 2.5, 2 feet, something like that. Please feel free to be narrower if you wish, but do spread your toes and bend your knees and hug your belly button in and up. And slowly, as you bend to your right, pull down with your right hand. Slowly turn your chin to the right and bump your left ribs upward. If you wish to push your left arm towards straight, you can. And you can even slowly turn your chin to your left armpit, keeping your knees bent, tuck your tailbone, bump your ribs left, and then slowly pull both arms forward in front of you and pause in the center. So here I'm reaching my arm forward, my chin is not dropping, and then we'll go over to the other side. Elbows bend, I pull my left elbow down, I look down, bump my ribs to the right, option to straighten out through the right elbow, but need not. Maybe you turn your chin to your right armpit, maybe not. Pulling your strap forward, keeping your chin lifted, pull your strap in front of you, scoop your belly, and then back up to vertical. Now slide your hands as far apart as they need to see how high your arms can go, and then gently but firmly pull your strap down behind you, squeezing your shoulder blades together. It's tempting to overarch your back here. I might even bring my hands a little closer if I feel like I could use a little more stretch in the front of the chest and a little more squish to the shoulder blade. 2 more times if it works for you. Big exaggerated breathing. Excellent. And slowly bring your strap all the way down and out you come. Let's do a shoulder releaser. Here's the one where I keep my head nice and long and lifted, my chest lifted. For anyone for whom curling the upper body forward, for example, if you have advanced osteoporosis, better to keep your spine long. If you know that actually it feels so good and it works for you to drop your head, you can curl down. circling the arm in one direction and followed by the other. Let the arm make the circle without the muscle action, but let it use the momentum created in the body. So we create the circle and let the arm swing with the momentum created. Then we'll switch sides, choosing a flat back or a curled back, a lifted head and neck or a dropped head and neck. Take a moment to let go in any creative ways that work for you. Very nice. Excellent. And then super gently, slowly come on up, and we'll come to sit. What I'd like to do is sit on my mat lengthwise. I'm going to sit facing forward towards you, but sit on your mat lengthwise and have a blanket available. So we can do a stretch for the outer hip, where you'll bring your legs straight out in front of you. But for me, if I sit up on a blanket, it gives me a lot more length in my legs than I would have if I were sitting right on the floor. And it can also be helpful to have a block or two in case when you're sitting, you need to support your legs. For some of us, it's actually kind of nice to put the calves or the thighs on blocks when you're sitting, or you might need a little extra height. Where I'd like to go is to the following place, where my left leg is forward and my right foot is bent up. If your right foot and your knee are comfortable with you bringing that right foot way up into the chest, into the pelvis, great. But if you need a little space, walk your right foot as far away from your hips as you need it to be. Okay, and I'll switch forward a little bit so I can peek over and see everybody. Okay, so depending on what's happening with your knee, again, you might need to move this right leg to a slightly different position. Don't hesitate to do that. You can also lift your toes of the leg that's down. For some, that actually feels better in the knee. Then we take the hands either behind the thigh, front of the shin, or if your leg can come in close, you can even use your forearm, because what we want is to lift the sternum and to draw the shoulders back and down. And if I need to, if I'm here with a bit of curve in my spine, then I scooch to the front of my prop until I can rock my pelvic bowl to more of that vertical position, and with a nice lumbar curve in play, lifting the sternum. Then we take the left arm any amount high, flamenco the arm, grow tall. You could even kick through your left heel and spread your toes and lift your eyebrows. Then backstroke your left arm slowly. Feel those little rhomboids between your shoulder blades squeezing, and slowly wrap your left hand or forearm around your right thigh. Bring your right hand behind you. If you need a block, you can put it right underneath your right hand. And as we lift tall, hug your right knee across your belly button and gently turn, breathing into your right rib cage. For some, it might feel better to hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. For others, no, holding the leg and hugging it in. Now see if you can grow tall and then gently twist, breathing. And it's okay for your left foot to slide forward towards the front of your mat. Moving your hips a little bit is not a problem. Very good. So twisting over that bent leg. One more deep breath. You can even lean back to lengthen the spine. Julia, that's really good. Now just turn your head all the way to the left. Then bring your whole body and gently rotate to your left. Very small counter rotation, gentle twist away from your bent knee. That probably feels a bit easier. And come on back to the center. Nice work. And then we stretch out through your opposite leg. If you need any props, sometimes people don't like the feeling of the heel on the floor. Even a little fold of strap under your heel can help it feel better. So not sitting there in discomfort. Then again, what we're looking for is to use the support of your hands pulling on your leg to lift your chest. And then if it works for you to stretch your right arm up, flamenco the arms, so you're spinning the upper arm bone, and then backstroke that arm. You're using a deep breath, wrap the hand, the forearm, the elbow around that left leg. You can even lift up onto your left tippy toes if your left heel lifting feels better to you. And you might even lean back or put your left hand on a block behind you, or push your left hand into the seat behind your sacrum. As you lift up tall, let your ribs turn left and let your right foot lengthen forward away from you. Breathing. So you might find that your buttock bones are now out of order with each other, out of register. Breathing as you twist into your rib cage. Turning your chin any amount to your left, and then slowly all the way back to the right. And then release your torso from the twist, and we slowly bring your whole body around, twisting to the right. Just a gentle counter twist. Very good. And then from here, we come on down. Now, for those of you interested in pigeon, I have a pigeon variation for you to try. For some, this is a fabulous time for you to come into figure 4. So left leg on top of right thigh, gentle hugging. Here you are, figure 4. You can put your foot on the wall. You can use a strap around your foot. Okay, so you can be here. Nice way to work your figure 4, even and equal. If you're a pigeon aficionado and you find it intriguing to think about pigeon push-ups, yikes, here's the idea. Option to put blanketing under any knee pads. And the idea is this: gently lifting and lowering to a pigeon suspended well above the mat, the upper body leaning forward as much as it needs to, so there's no hyper extension in the back. Yeah. And if it becomes doable for you to balance in your pigeon push-ups, you can work in that direction. The idea behind pigeon push-ups, only if the knees tolerate it, is that you may find that you can build strength in the muscles that stretch in pigeon before you lengthen and stretch down into your pigeon. But figure 4 is a fantastic variation. And if you're doing the pigeon, your left knee would be in front of your left hip. Your left foot would be more in front of your right hip. That's it, Shelley. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. So you could come forward a little bit, and your left leg is a little bit more, yep, as long as there's no knee pain. And then you would move this knee out to the side a couple, there you go. And then option to use your blocks or no, and do a gentle lift and lower, where we use these left buttock muscles to lift. And then when your body starts to feel a little fatigue, you lower down. But you only work where there's no knee pain. Beautiful. Yes. It's really the right leg. It's the front leg. Yep. You won't feel the back leg doing hardly anything. If you tuck the toes under of the back foot, you can start to work it a little bit more, and it kind of spiders you up a little bit more, and you'd start a little higher. That's it. Yes. Yes, exactly. Even higher. You can start way up high where your left foot would come in even closer. So you'd be even in this position here like this, where your hips are quite high. Exactly. You're lifting from a lift. Take your time to switch sides if you wish. Very good, Julia. Figure 4 people. That's it. Linda, you could put your right arm inside of your knee. There you go, through there. That's it. It's confusing. That's it. And now bend that knee for me, and then flex that foot. Yep, and then let that knee move over that way. That's good. Taking your time. Let's give you a little height under the back of your head. Sneak it in there. There you go. Sorry about that. There you go. Now jaw, shoulders down the back. That's it. Notice how that leg wants to turn. Let it stay more like that. You doing okay? Excellent. That's perfect. Yeah. So there's a lot of moving parts here. As long as there's no sharp joint pain, you're doing beautiful. Perfect. That's what we want. Very good. Kim, gorgeous. Switching sides when you're ready. Notice how much this knee wants to come to the midline. Yes. Let's just give you a teeny bit of height. There you go. And so use those latissimus, those shoulder blade area muscle. Beautiful. So you get that bristling pectoral effect. And then a little, maybe flexion, maybe not for you. Yep, exactly. Beautiful. Doing okay there, Robin? Yeah. Both sides. That's it, Ann. Yep. You could even play with just a little bit more of that, just that, yeah. And this knee can go wider or stay narrower, but there's almost like you want to put a little softball under here and scoop it up inside. There you go. You feel that a little differently? So this hip essentially came up and back. When you're doing the pigeon push-ups, if you choose to do them, for some of you might be thinking, oh, forget it. The pigeon push-up idea is that you're high here, way high off the mat, and then you slowly lower and lift with your trunk pretty stable. I tend to lean forward so I'm not overstretching the front of the back hip, but nonetheless, I don't really use my trunk too much. It's more about levering up and down through the buttock area of the front leg. All right, so now we need to move into our Shavasana. Beautiful, Michael. Bringing your left elbow in slightly if you can. That's just slightly winged out. Very good. And now your right elbow too. Nice, you got it. Now, if you are a Stonehenge person, I am absolutely obsessed with Stonehenge. Those of you who know that already and disdain Stonehenge, I have no problem with that, but please feel free. If you haven't done Stonehenge before, it involves 2 blocks tall, about 6 inches, 8 inches apart, a carefully placed giant piece of stone across the top, and then calves, but not bent, super bent knees. The knees are relatively straight compared to a 90-degree angle. So this can give, for some of us, a little more ease in the back. However, if you know that that is not for you, I'm actually going to bring a second bolster to you, Adrian, because I know we did 2 the other day and that worked really well. 1 was not good for your back, so we're going to do 2, of course. Yeah, so taking your time. If you discover you're not comfortable, let's have you scooch towards me, Linda. There you go, perfect. Voila. And then we'll just give you a little height and see how that feels. Nice. There you go. So the legs can completely relax, but the hip joint is relatively wide. It's not a super sharp angle at the hip. Beautiful, Kim. You feel okay here? As they do. That happens, yeah. Since we're not really working with the stones, we end up with problems. And then you might gently open up your shoulder. Yeah. Feeling okay there? Yeah. Can I do a gentle shoulder adjustment for you? So it's just a very gentle movement of the shoulder blade that way. That's it. Just a little bit. There you go. That's actually centered. Probably feels a little crooked. Beautiful. Now, any adjustments you need to make to your back, to your hips, to your neck, gently allow any and all to occur so that you can feel completely supported. There's no benefit for us to be in a pose that somehow seems like it's supposed to be good but isn't. Taking your time to settle in, to settle down, and allow your eyes to sink into the warmth of your sockets. Let the belly expand and contract gently without you having to move it. In fact, let your lungs do what they will with your belly, with your internal organs. Let your diaphragm have its own pensive experience and let the body go. Very gently begin to allow your breath to expand, expanding into the limbs, maybe even into your fingers and your toes. Soften your brain and allow wrists and ankles to move if they're comfortable moving. Maybe knees and elbows bend or not. Maybe you stay quiet like a lily pad, just soft on the pond, no movement at all. Bending knees and elbows, wrists and ankles, rolling to your side. All of these are options, ignorable. And find your way to a seat if there is one that's comfortable for you. But if there isn't one, then that's your ticket to lie right back down. Take your favorite hand and arm position. Some people have a really clear preference. So do the thing that feels best for you. And feel your spine gently rising, vibrant and with turgor, right? You're not a wilted plant. You have a beautiful, vibrant uplift, but not rigid. It's more of a long, straight spine with soft, drapey everything. Right? Your skeleton, your rib cage gently supported by that beautiful, vibrant spine. Take a moment to allow your body to be breathed, observing the quality of the mind, quality of the breath, and of the heart, and sensation throughout the body. Full deep breath in, fill up, and let it go. One more time, full deep breath in, and let it go. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I can scarcely believe it's already Friday, but here we are. So thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Be well, and look forward to seeing you next week. And it's February. Ta-da! Is it Groundhog Day? Oh, I have to confess, I watched that movie 3 times and I hated it every single time, which I think I'm supposed to do, right? Some people love it. I get it, but it's not for me.